evening. I'm Soraya Mia and you're watching AWANI Tonight. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim urges the Employees Provident Fund EPF to increase domestic investments to 70% by year end. Anwar, also Finance Minister, says this will be a raise from the EPF's investments last year, which stood at 64%.
Ada yang strategik, bukan saja industri tetapi infrastruktur yang strategik. Plus dulu, smart tunnel, semua itu memang dimasuki dan perumahan oleh KWSP itu saya akui sudah dilakukan. Tapi seperti mana saya telah bincang dengan rakan-rakan dalam di KWSP dan Khazanah, harus ada cari hala tuju baru tentang mencari juga ruang dan pendekatan untuk mengajak anak-anak muda dalam kegiatan mereka, startups yang juga memerlukan sedikit sebanyak kepakaran daripada hanya menumpukan pelaburan besar yang perlu dan strategik untuk negara.
Anwar also reiterated that the government will stand firm in its decision to disallow additional withdrawals from the EPF. Although this decision may not be popular, the Prime Minister says he will not yield to any calls for further withdrawals, as he said contributors' savings must be protected for future needs.
Ya, kita akui ada beberapa permasalahan yang dihadapi oleh individu. Tapi jalan keluarnya bukanlah untuk memaksa KWSP keluar daripada landasan dan matlamat dia dan untuk memenuhi keperluan satu pihak. Saya percaya ini akan terus dipermainkan dan menjadikan satu isu politik termasuk dalam pilihan raya negeri, 6 negeri akan datang, tapi ia tidak harus menggusarkan kita.
Meanwhile, the government is considering an agreement with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, on its role in managing refugees and asylum seekers in the country. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi emphasizes the need for coordinated and streamlined involvement of government agencies, UNHCR, and other NGOs in this matter.
Zahid said Putrajaya planned to establish committees and a special task force to develop a mechanism for managing refugees and asylum seekers. It will also work on enhancing enforcement of laws related to refugees and asylum seekers while providing social support to registered refugees. He added that the government would be more involved in determining refugee status, which was previously handled solely by the UNHCR. The announcement follows Zahid's chairing of the Refugee and Asylum Seekers Committee meeting today. There are currently 185,760 UNHCR card holders in Malaysia, 83% of which are from Myanmar.
Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli has defended Bank Negara Malaysia's decision to raise the overnight policy rate OPR, saying it would help Putrajaya spend prudently. The OPR hike will increase the cost of borrowing and loans, thus indirectly forcing the government to spend wisely.
Acknowledging that the OPR hike has an impact on the people's cost of living, Rafizi, however, said that the move needs to be viewed from a bigger perspective, including in terms of strengthening the national currency.
Sudah tentu kerajaan dengan Bank Negara bekerjasama dan juga ada kesepahaman. Cuma kita juga berhati-hati untuk kita menghormati bahawa perlu ada timbang tara dari segi penetapan kadar pinjaman OPR itu, ataupun yang kesan dia sebenarnya ialah untuk mengawal aliran wang ke dalam ekonomi. Jadi saya berpandangan bahawa kadar inflasi sekarang terkawal dan walaupun OPR itu naik kali ini, tapi saya berpendapat itu lebih kepada preemptive response kita kepada kemungkinan besar Federal Reserve di US yang dijangka akan menaikkan kadar OPR seterusnya, kerana dia bukan soal inflasi semata-mata, dia juga soal kemasukan wang ke negara ini, kan.
The central bank raised the OPR by 25 basis points to 3% last week.
The government plans to develop a national mineral policy within 3 months in accordance with the current standard operating procedures for rare earth mining. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof said the policy is aimed at managing the national's mineral responsibility.
He added that the potential contribution of minerals to national revenue is quite big, with our current mineral reserves being valued at around 4 trillion ringgit. Therefore, Fadilah said efforts taken to develop mineral resources should be orderly and organized so that the economic needs do not affect the people's social welfare as well as the environment. Fadilah, who is also Plantation and Commodities Minister, was speaking to reporters after chairing the Second National Mineral Council meeting here today. According to him, Kedah currently has the largest rare earth mineral resources among the states.
The Ombudsman's Malaysia Bill is now at the finalisation stage. It is expected to be tabled in Parliament in October. Law and Institutional Reform Minister Datuk Seri Azalina Osman Said pointed out that its policies would be based on similar policies and laws in other countries such as the UK and New Zealand. She said the bill will provide clearer functions and power of Ombudsman Malaysia, which also include management of public complaints against government departments or agencies. On January 17, Azalina was reported as saying that the government is mulling the establishment of Ombudsman Malaysia, an independent body to address the wide range of public complaints against government departments or agencies in line with the government's agenda. An ombudsman is normally appointed by and acts on behalf of Parliament, with powers to investigate complaints against the administration, make recommendations concerning those complaints, and try to have its recommendations adopted by the administration. Transport Minister Anthony Loke assured the public that the new policy on allowing licenses to be renewed for up to 10 years will not lead to challenges in suspending reckless drivers. He said the Road Transport Department JPJ has its own mechanism and system to track traffic offenders and take action, including suspending or revoking a license.
Loke further explained that JPJ has a digital system to track traffic offenders and ensure that those who renew their driving license for 10 years will not escape the system. The JPJ, he added, has many methods to ensure those convicted in courts will not be allowed to drive. Loke was commenting on concerns that the government's decision to allow drivers to renew their license for up to 10 years would make it difficult to suspend those who violate traffic laws or commit serious traffic offences. He also said that the number of individuals who would benefit from the new policy far exceeded the number of serious traffic offenders. Previously, a driving license could only be renewed for 1 to 5 years.
We'll take a short break. Stay tuned.
Nikmati jualan bombastika raya 5G bersama U Mobile. Dapatkan peranti 5G Baharu yang gempak percuma dan padankannya dengan pelan U Postpaid. Kini lebih padu dengan 2 kali lebih data 5G dari RM38 sebulan. Pelan Ultra Hotspot 5G untuk berkongsi sehingga 1000 GB tanpa sekatan, had laju ataupun had peranti. Jadikan raya anda bombastika hari ini. Layari u.com.my.
Bombastika raya-raya kita gembira. Anda ingin menjadi seorang pereka cipta? Kami mau membantu merealisasikan impian anda. Kongsikan idea inovatif anda dan sertai program Innovathon. Anda berpeluang untuk memenangi hadiah lumayan. Hantarkan video 1 minit idea anda secara online. Tarikh tutup penghantaran telah dilanjutkan atas permintaan ramai. Atau hadirkan diri ke lokasi berikut untuk membentangkan idea anda. Selamat mencuba. Moga berjaya. Inilah peluang untuk menggapai impian anda yang terpendam selama ini.
Final polls leading to a week before Thailand's general election reveal that majority of Thais want to see a change in government. But how accurate are these polls when compared to situation on the ground? We speak to Professor in International Politics at Thammasat University, Dr. Virat Ali, about the likelihood of a landslide victory for the opposition parties.
One thing is we still have numbers of population who haven't decided who to vote for. So there might be some changes as well, but I don't think it will be a very large margin where all the polls are incorrect or something like that. The direction is that the Democratic alliances, including, as you said, Pheu Thai Party and Move Forward Party, might win the majority. But now the question is how many? Is it over 250 out of 500, or it's over 300? Because it all has a very different kind of implication to it.
Aside from this, Virat also highlighted the possibility of competition within the Democratic parties, which could lead to a lesser chance of a landslide win.
From our research, we found out that 61 seats were lost by competition between the Democratic alliances themselves. So that's something that we have to keep a close eye on in order to make sure that the word that we use here now is landslide. So if the landslide happens, then okay, there might be a possibility that the Democratic alliances might be able to what we call take over the government. But if it's not that high, I mean, the numbers are not over 300, then it could be a problem where the governments have this ability, the senators, and on the other hand, in Thailand, we have this, word the government has the ability to give out bananas to MPs on the other side to vote for the government during the voting day.
On to more international news. At least 22 people have drowned after a boat capsized off the coast of the southern Indian state of Kerala. Local authorities said the boat was carrying about 40 passengers and was overcrowded when it capsized. Local media reported that the victims included children who had to come to take a boat trip during their school holidays. The incident happened at around 7 p.m. local time yesterday. It's not clear what caused the boat to overturn near the beach in the town of Tanur. The death toll was likely to rise as the boat was stuck in muddy waters and was being pulled out to rescue those trapped inside. The state government and police said they had launched investigations into the incident. New Zealand will invest more than $265 million to boost the salaries of defense personnel. Another $207.03 million will be spent to upgrade defense force assets and infrastructure.
The boost to payroll was so the Defence Force can maintain and attract the skills, experience and expertise needed, said Defence Minister Andrew Little during a news conference in Wellington.
Today's announcement also includes $328 million for defence projects, including upgraded aviation fuelling facilities at Ohakia and world-class communications to our frigates and new Bushmaster protected mobility vehicles. Budget 2023 invests more than $85 million to improve defence housing.
The New Zealand Defence Force has been struggling with high levels of staff attrition, resulting in the idling of 3 ships and the early retirement of the P-3 Orion fleet, leaving New Zealand with limited air surveillance capability.
Former U.S. President Donald Trump rejected his last chance to testify at a civil trial where a columnist has accused him of raping her in 1996. Trump was given until 5 p.m. local time Sunday to file a request to testify, but nothing was filed.
It was, however, not a surprise, as the Republican presidential candidate for 2024 had not shown up once during the 2-week trial in New York City. Writer E. Jean Carroll had testified for several days, repeating claims she first made publicly in a 2019 memoir that Trump had raped her in a dressing room at a luxury Manhattan department store in 1996. The now 79-year-old Carroll is seeking compensatory and punitive damages, totaling millions of dollars. The jury has also watched excerpts from a videotaped deposition in October, in which Trump denied raping Carroll or ever really knowing her. Without Trump's testimony, lawyers were scheduled to make closing arguments on Monday, with deliberations likely to begin on Tuesday.
That report ends AWANI tonight. Thanks for watching. I'm Soraya Mia, and we'll see you again.